What's up, everyone? We got a new guest today. We already had her brother on the show before, but we got the 2022 Connecticut Girls State Champion, Emma Heslin. Emma, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to, just hear a different perspective for wrestling,
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So, the first question I always ask is when and why did you start wrestling?
So I started in 8th grade. I wrestled for a year, but I remember specifically in 4th grade, wanting to wrestle. But even it's grown so much within the past, I would say 3 years. But I remember my mom and my sister kind of being like, no, just stick to soccer. Wrestling's not really a girl sport. And then I signed myself up in 8th grade and I came home and I told my parents, I'm like, yep, I'm wrestling. And then I loved it. I loved it. And then I think just going into high school, I was just very insecure back then. You still had to wear the hairnets for the girls. So I was really insecure. And also girl singlets weren't even popular either. So we were wearing the guy singlets and they're just not as flattering. So and I was scared because I was going to be the only girl on the high school team. I think there was only one other girl at the time. And again, just people were you don't want to be weird or anything. So then I quit, and then I started getting into it again junior, summer going into junior year, and I wrestled a little. But then they didn't have a season. So then I wrestled senior year. That was my first actual season. And I won states. And after
championship.
Yeah, and after I won states, that's kind of when I was I don't want to quit again. I think I can compete. And so then I really I committed to Western New England shortly after. And now it's kind of getting more serious for me. At the US Open was the first time that I really got emotional after a match. Mm-hmm. And I think I'm because wrestling's hard, especially trying to learn it for real at an older age. It's so
that's one of those things you pick up when you're young,
Yeah, it's I could kick a soccer ball right now perfectly because I grew up playing that since I was 5. But I've played so many sports. I played hockey, I played soccer, I played I'm blanking. Why can't I think of all of them? I did track, but I played lacrosse, but just wrestling came the easiest for me, and that's something that I learned too, just natural abilities. So that's kind of decided to stick with it, because I quit soccer senior year to wrestle after playing it my whole life, and I was kind of just let's try this. I'm a lot more passionate for it.
So you mentioned your family's reactions. What were some of your friends or some adults' reactions when they're oh, do you do any sports? And you're yeah, I wrestle.
Yeah, they love it. I actually work at Sadler's, which is a small restaurant in my town, Marlboro, and it's mostly old people. And it's just being a part of the growth of it's not even an NCAA sport yet. It's not even sanctioned in all states. So being a part of the growth is so interesting. And I will get asked, they'll be you look fit. What sport do you play? Soccer. A lot of people guess soccer. And I was no, I wrestle. And older women are very supportive of it, and they're just wow, because they it's crazy to think that in their time they played tennis, there weren't really sports that women could play, so they were just it's just I get a lot of support from it. It's funny, guys are can you beat me up, and yeah, and a lot of girls are just you're badass. I don't know, it's mostly support.
Yeah, no, there definitely is something about, the badassness of a girl who wrestles, because it's, but like you said, it is growing, but it does still have that stigma around it, almost like football, or just like football, honestly.
Yeah.
You don't see you see less girls in football than you do wrestling.
Yeah, I wanted to, and I remember in 4th grade wanting to play football too, and they were just nah, and so, yeah. But it's also interesting, too, because I feel girls are starting to play a lot more football, too. On, the high school teams, you're seeing girls now in the field, which is super cool.
Yeah, I know Guilford, Brianna Saxis, who outside was on the football team.
And Ella played football. Nichols.
Yeah, Nichols, right? Yep.
Yeah. And Dakota, I think, did, too.
That name sounds familiar.
I'm blinking her last name. She goes to Western New England.
Okay. She's from Connecticut?
Yeah, she went to Plainville.
Oh, okay. So, what you said you started in 8th grade, right? Like you did it for a year there?
Yeah.
What club did you sign yourself up for?
I did well, it's actually funny. I just did high school. So like I only wrestled not high school, I only wrestled the middle school season. Mm-hmm. And then like in the off season, like this was when like NAP like was running KT, and this is when it was like at its prime. And I went to like and like that was another thing. Like honestly, like that one KT practice really like scared me away, because that was like obviously and I went to the intense one because Jackson was going to that one, because at that time there was like the like not travel team, then the travel team. And I went to like the travel practice, and like it was like really intense. And that's when like Raekwon Shabazz, his like dad would run like an hour workout after, and it was just very intense. And like after that I was like, I can't do it. But like now I can. But I also like, I don't know, like no one was like, not in a bad way, but no one was also like pushing me as like they did like Jackson, you know. He would like, if he was just like, like that was hard, like it would like push him. And that's kind of like another thing that's, I feel like, different as a girl too, is that you get a different motivation. Like I feel like you're just not fully pushed as much as the guys, which is
people hold back a little bit, I feel, you know?
Yeah, which is a little bit like frustrating. Like it's some people it's fine, but for me, like I almost need that like tough love, you know, like to get under me, to give me like that extra spark sometimes. And so it's just kind of harder to find that for people that will do that, because they just like see women as more sensitive and don't want to like upset you.
But I imagine your brother probably just gives it to you straight.
Yeah, he does.
And was he one of the people that pushed you to get back into wrestling too?
Yeah, for sure. He was. Like, it's hard though, because he's been hurt for so long too. Like when he finally like got better, like he immediately got hurt again. And that's like one thing that sucks, is like, because he like came to practice and like he'll just like stand like next to me and my partner the whole time and kind of like coach me from the side, but like he can't really get like hands on. Like we literally had like a few practices before Vegas. Like he did like open mat, we did some stuff together, and then he got hurt again and he can't work with me. But like mentally, he helps me a lot so much. And just like I was very nervous for Vegas. Obviously, it was my first national tournament other than Virginia Beach. I went to senior year, and I'm smaller, so like I was very underweight, and because the lowest weight class is 110 for the U.S. Like weights, and I wrestle 101, and I'm just small. But he was kind of just like, this is like what you want though. Like I used to be scared going to these tournaments, but like you want to face the best people, like because you want to like compete against them. Like that's who you go to these tournaments to compete against those people. Like that's why you're going. And he just like, he was there in my corner, which always helps me. And like just like there were obviously times like because it's hard joining a sport so late, so there are times where like I'm just like, I was like debating on like quitting and stuff, and he really just helped me, just, you know, like you don't have to be the best either, like it's just like all good vibes. So that's good. I love him so much. He's like my best friend.
That's really important, you know, that relationship.
And us winning states together was just like so amazing. And like I don't know, like it was just like I just love our bond. And it's so funny, people think I'm like younger than him, and like I'm in college, and or like because we're in such a small town, like at South, there's like people will recognize us because we were like in the paper and we're like the siblings, and you're like, oh, like, are you one of the Heslins? And so it's cool.
It's funny that you bring up how you both won states, because literally I have like a article right here, and I think here's the first line, or not one of the first lines. I can't find it. A different article, but it said something like, it was a good day for the Heslin family.
Yeah.
I think you were like the first match, right?
Yeah, because I'm a lightweight.
And then, you know, Jackson was one of the first ones in the boys. But yeah, that's awesome. You know, to be able to do that.
Yeah, and I was happy I was able to watch his match. I don't really think he watched mine like in person, because he was just like mentally trying to get ready. But like it was just such a great feeling and such a good day. Probably like top 3 moments of my life.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, and you went to RHAM, right? Or RAM?
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess the cool kids call it.
Yeah.
So, what does that stand for?
It's like Regional Hebron, RH. Sorry, Hebron, Andover, Marlboro. It's like the 3 towns.
Yeah. So, what was a practice there like your senior year?
They were intense. They were 2.5 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. I had Claire, which was my partner. She was heavier than me, so like that helped me a lot too. Just like wrestling someone bigger, but they were like pretty intense. Like they were good. They made me very tough because my friend Ben Fournier, he's the lightweight, and he would beat me up in practice. And sometimes I'd get so pissed because I'd be like, Ben, like you don't have to beat me up, like you can like. But it made me very tough, and like I really appreciated it because like everyone in there like treated like the girls with respect and like would respectfully beat on us, which made it better rather than like being, because there are some people that like go like light and stuff, and which is like kind of like annoying because like going against the guys like makes you better because like they're tougher. And going with guys too is interesting because you have to wrestle in a different way because usually they're stronger than you, even, which is like so annoying. Like I like hate wrestling guys now. I'm just like because I'm like still learning too, so I just like will put myself in positions where I just get out muscled. But yeah, love RAM. Since I was home second semester, I went to like a lot of their tournaments. I like filmed stuff and ran their Instagram. I wish they won states or Class M's.
That
the big singlet.
It's quite the tragedy, honestly.
Yeah.
The kid wasn't even the one wrestling, right?
Yeah, and you know what's crazy is that he joined the team like 3 weeks before, not even, like maybe like 2 weeks before the season. It was like, I think he maybe had a few matches because you have to have I think you have to have a week of practice before you can compete. So he joined like in the, like right before like the cutoff happened, so they could so he could like win M's basically for the team. And then he like ended up like placing. I think he got like 6th or something. And and he wasn't even wrestling. It was such a small room too, which is like so frustrating because everyone was just like in the corner. Like,
where was it hosted? Remember?
I don't remember. But it was a small gym. It was really packed in there, and like everyone was like on the mats like during like the finals matches, and like it wasn't really like people were like trying to get us off. So it is what it is, though. It's in the past.
Yeah, RAM, they return a couple people next year, I think.
Yeah, they're gonna try. The coach was gonna retire, and now he's not retiring now. Yeah,
I would come out or I would postpone my retirement too if I kind of got screwed out of a state title.
Yeah, so Fitch is staying, and so yeah, we'll see what happens next year.
That's awesome. So you talked about what it was like being on the team there as a girl. Did you feel like immediately welcomed to the team?
Yeah, because I knew some of the kids. It was definitely like walking into a new room as a girl is very, especially if there aren't like other girls there, like it's just very intimidating. But yeah, like Fitch actually was the one that like got me to wrestle again because I wasn't gonna, and then like he kind of like scared me into it. Not scared me, but he was just kind of like, if Emma's not on the mat the first practice, like we're gonna do stairs. And then like my friends are texting me, they're like, bro, like please come to like this is just like one practice, like try it out. So like all my friends got me so to wrestle, and so yeah, I love them.
That's nice.
We were really tight too, and like I think that's what helps. Because like my season we did better in duels and tournaments, and I think having that close bond really helps just to like you're doing it for the team, like our chance for the team. So it's like I don't know, we were very close team.
It's a very family sport, like if
the
teams are connected, you're not gonna win much. Individual kids will win matches, but that's about it.
Yeah.
So and then after after high school, you committed to Western New England, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What led you to commit there?
Props to them because it's just the only school in like New England other than Sacred Heart that has women's wrestling. So it was just that Ella Nichols was gonna go there, and like she was like one of the only like CT girls I really like knew of. I knew like a few others, but like because I was still like senior year is like my first like season. So so sure, but mostly like being close to home, and that was, and yeah, and like Sacred Heart just like wasn't for me, so that was kind of my only other close option. So
and so talk to me about Western New England.
It was just for me, like I just wasn't progressing at like the rate that I wanted to. I'm still new, so like every match I wrestle, like I get better and I notice it since I'm like newer. But my goals seemed really far there, and also I just felt like too comfortable. I feel like in this, like I was just too close to home. Like it just wasn't my vibe. So I just immediately, I just kind of immediately knew it wasn't for me. And my dad was kind of like, I don't care what you do, but all that matters is that you keep your grades up. So I just ended school with a high GPA, went home after first semester, and then just started touring schools. And then I chose Lock Haven. So yeah, I'm really excited for that.
What other schools were you thinking about aside from Lock Haven?
I toured Tiffin. I toured Albion out in Michigan. I had a few other flights booked. I talked to like Mount Olive down in North Carolina. I talked to that coach. I was even gonna look at like it's like Camsbell or something, just like because they're a NAIA team, so it wasn't like NCAA or whatever. But but after I went to Albion and Tiffin and like got on the plane, I was kind of like, I don't think I want to be like a plane ride away. And I just really like Lock Haven was the first school I toured, and I was kind of like, is it weird that I like this school so much? I thought maybe like it was just because I didn't really tour a lot of schools either. I literally like I think I only applied to Western New England and Sacred Heart, so I didn't really like tour a lot of schools. So I was like, is that like normal? And then after I toured those two schools, like I just was like, Lock Haven's for me. So I kind of just like canceled everything and was like committing.
And how do you feel at Lock Haven now?
I'm excited. I go in the fall. I move in the 15th, so pretty soon. And I'm really excited. I love the team. They're awesome. We have a lot of studs on the team incoming too. There's a girl that's in like finals in Fargo right now, incoming, and we have 3 All-Americans, and the 109 is very good, so she'll beat up on me, and it's just
iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, it's just the people that I'm around are good and great balance, and just people that bring you up, and I just want to be around those people. So
what does Lock Haven compete in exactly for the women's wrestling? Is
like division?
Yeah. Is it the same thing as Sacred Heart does?
Yeah. So for all women's wrestling, like no matter the division, you compete against everyone. So they're like divisions, but like that only matters for like scholarship stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Like how early you can start practice and like those type of rules. But like competing wise, we all compete against each other.
That's awesome then,
Like within the past 2 years, I think was the first time you had to qualify for NCAAs. It's not like actually NCAAs, but before that, the brackets were like huge because it was just like another tournament. Like everyone could, yeah.
Wow.
So
it'd be interesting if with how women's wrestling is now, I'd say within like 10 years plus, there'd hopefully be enough schools to have some sort of D1 thing, 10, 20 years plus. It'd be interesting to see what they do then if they split it up then.
Yeah, and like it's just like crazy because it's like none of like the Big 10 schools, like Iowa had just got their first program last year and they all redshirted. So it's just like all the schools are like kind of like private, like not a lot of like state schools, and just in like random places, and it's just like, and it's just so interesting because it's like these people that like these teams that are ranked top 10 in the country are, and like just like not, it's not like any other sport right now, and on top of that it's growing so fast that like team rankings, obviously they matter, but like they can totally switch in a year. So like there's teams that have fallen off and that come up like so quick. So it's just so interesting just being in the sport right now.
And how would you compare, so far what you've experienced in college to what you experienced in high school, like practices and such?
For me, well, I only went to Western New England. I watched Lock Haven's practice.
Yeah, no, like compare Western New England to RHAM. Like, how is it?
Okay.
Like a lot more intense, or?
It just wasn't as intense as I would like, so that's kind of like my situation why I left. But a big difference is hand fighting. There's a lot more hand fighting in college. Another big difference that like was kind of like so interesting to me was that you have like a mini practice basically right before a meet. So like that, like you're like really like set before you compete. So that was like very different. I'm not used to that. They're shorter practices, which was interesting. But yeah, and they're smaller too versus because like at Western New England there weren't that many girls, so it was a very small room, which was also not as many partners, which is frustrating, but yeah.
You can do.
Yeah, I was like Ella, like I would like train with Ella sometimes, and it was just so funny.
And Ella's like a 140, 145 or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're giving up 40 pounds there.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the U.S. Open again now. Well, so you said it was the first time you got emotional.
Yeah.
Can you just describe what kind of emotions they were?
So the first match, I also like, it's like, I just have not, another reason I'm so excited for Lock Haven is to finally just be like in like a groove. Like I just have been like on and off competing. Like I haven't really competed also in a minute. And so that was like my first time competing in a minute. And my first match, I started a new thing where like I like don't check the bracket, so I don't know who I'm wrestling. Jackson does that, so I did that. That was my first time doing that. So the first match was quick, and after like after her hand gets raised, like I look over and I see the Iowa coach, and she's an Iowa command, and then like I see she was just like she's gone to like Pan Ams and stuff. And it was just like, that was just like a moment hit me. I was just like, damn, like I'm going up against the best. And like, this is like obviously who I want to be going against. And I was like, okay. And then the next match, like I was a lot more like ready. I was kind of just like, I was very like heavy on my feet the first match. And then I was just a lot more confident, and she got the passive warning. So I was like, I was happy for that. I just wanted to win a match too. And I got my takedown, and that was and then I was like, okay, like I'm in this. And then she got in double unders, and that's the thing that I've been trying to work on more, is my learning more upper body. And she got double unders, and then I like tried to like headlock her or something, and then I kind of just got tossed straight to my back, and then I got pinned, and I was just like, damn. And then like I was just like holding it in tears, and like it was just like the first time that I would like was just. I'm very hard on myself too. Like I gotta be a lot more like chill. But I was just like upset because I was like, because I knew that I could have won. Like I knew I could have won, and I was just like, it is what it is. Like Jackson helped me, gave me like a nice pep talk after. Coach Conroy and Hanukkah were coaching me. They talked to me and hyped me up. But yeah, it was just kind of like the first time I was kind of just like I want to be here. Like. I don't want to lose. Like. So
it sounds like you definitely plan to compete on that level again.
Yeah. Even like I know it's like really like early, but like I think that like even like post college, like I still like I want to be around the mat somewhere. If it's competing, if it's getting like a job through like USA Wrestling, or just like I helped coach Platt this year, and like I've just like helped coaching some girls. So I don't know, just being around the mat somehow my whole life.
And that kind of goes into my next topic. Tell me about Heslin Films.
Yeah. So I've always like liked editing things. Like even when I was younger, like on my like mom's iPad, like I would like make videos, and so I've always liked that. And yeah, I kind of was just like, I have a semester off, and I'm around wrestling so much because like I was dating a kid on the team, so I was just going to all their stuff, and I was like, let's make edits. And so yeah, I just was trying to like figure out how to like record stuff, and like progressively I got better, and like watching like videos about how to like do apps and stuff. And yeah, I like it. It's fun. It's just something to do.
Would you that's like a bit similar to what I do, so that's you could stay on the mat.
Yeah, that I was just talking to Jackson about it. I'm thinking about like switching my major maybe to like video production. Just I don't know, like something around that instead of like business. But yeah, I don't know what I want to do. I like trying out new things, so it's fun.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have anything else you'd like to add? Anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, I mean, if you're a girl watching this, and you're thinking about wrestling, I definitely think you should at least give it a shot. Like, there was a girl this year, a freshman, I got her to wrestle for RHAM, and she was like talking about how she thought about it before, and that maybe she thinks she'll join next season or when she's more ready. And I was like, I got her to wrestle, and I was just like, there's no point in waiting. I waited. Like, you won't regret doing it, but you'll regret not doing it. I was like, if you don't like it, you can quit. Like, no one's forcing you to do it. But if you even have like a slight thought, like try it out. It's fun. I don't know. You get to beat some people up. So, yeah.
Every girl I talk to, has a story where they say they tell their friend to just try it, and they end up loving it or something.
Yeah, like so many.
Yeah,
and it's so fun, and like especially like when you like get into the community, like it's like also like game changing when you find other girl wrestlers and start to like feel comfortable and like rolling around on the mat, like dancing on the mat. It's just so fun. So
and like we've been saying this whole time, women's wrestling is only growing.
Yeah,
it's just gonna get more participants. So more girls are gonna start coming out of their shell to join the teams. Hopefully. Yeah. It'd be awesome. It'd be my dream for one day for like there to be a high school New England boys and girls tournament.
Yeah.
Like I know there's a New England girls tournament now that's like unofficial, held at Youth New England's, but I would love to see an official event.
Yeah. And that was the first time it happened, was last year too. So it's just like so interesting. And I was like talking to some mom about it too. Like I was like, you could also like get your kids in it young. For girls, it's just so new. Like you can just become such a beast. Like it's just...
Yeah, no, I think it's so cool, especially when you find a girl who's like nasty, or like they started with it when they were like 5 or 6, and they're just...
I can't think of her last name. Her name's Audrey, but she's, I think, a junior in high school from Arizona, and she won the U.S. Open at 110. Like the younger girls are just in the Kennedy Blaze going up against Gray, like in it's just like the younger generation is just, it's a whole different wave. Like it's just gonna be crazy. Yeah. Like it's just different breeds.
I'm really excited for women's wrestling in the next 10 years. That's when it's just gonna like double every year, I feel.
Yeah. So
okay, Emma, anything else?
No, I think that's it. Thank you for having me.